Awesome. Okay, we are started here. So thank you everybody for joining the May wax demo. We had to push the date up due to Memorial Day weekend. So I really appreciate everybody making this work. Today we're going to be going through what Bush Beads is all about, how you can bring it into your service room to level up the experience for your client. Just with a show of hands or comments, who here has already used Bush Beads before? Okay, we have a couple hands here. If you've already used Bush Beads, throw in the comments what you love so much about it. And if you haven't used Bush Beads yet, hopefully this webinar provides all the information you need to dive in to your first order. So today you have myself, Kiana. I'm the brand marketing manager here at Bushbalm, and I am joined by our fabulous in-house esthetician, Miss Kim.
Good morning, and thank you everybody for being here today. I am a licensed esthetician out here in Los Angeles, California. I go by Wax Junkie on Instagram, and I'm super excited to be here to show you guys a full Brazilian wax with my beautiful model, Lori. And we're gonna dive into all of the tips and tricks that I can offer you guys, and any questions you guys have, like Kiana said, you guys can just throw that into the comment section, and I'll try to answer as I go.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss Kim. I highly encourage everybody sticks around towards the end of this wax demo because I will be dropping information on how you can join our wax giveaway. We will be giving away 3 bags of wax to one lucky winner who attends this webinar, and I will be dropping information on how you can enter that closer to the end of this webinar. So if you stick around, you will be rewarded for that. So Bush Beads is our latest innovation in hair removal, and it's designed specifically for estheticians with the help of estheticians. So we worked in collaboration with 10 Bushbalm pros, and we got so much feedback from them and formulated this perfect consistency when it came to our Bush Beads. Now, what sets Bush Beads apart? This is an unscented hypoallergenic formula. So it is perfect for clients with even the most sensitive skin. It's very quick drying. Yeah, someone just dropped in the comments, I love how quickly it dries. So it's really, really great if you are a speed waxer. We know there are a ton of speed waxers in our community, and I know that's really, really important to them. Our Bush Beads has a hybrid consistency, I would say. It kind of has that gel-like formula with a slight creaminess as well. Kim will probably go in and explain that, but it is just so luxurious and incredible. It does have a low melting point, which means the wax doesn't need to be super, super hot to work at its optimal function. So your clients will be feeling a lot more comfortable compared to other waxes that you may have used on them in the past. Today, Kim is going to be going through a beautiful one-stop shop Bushbalm routine where she's going to start with our intimate refreshing wipe, followed by our Bush Beads. If there's time, she'll dive into a little bit of vajacials, and then she's going to finish off the service with our post-aftercare oil. So without further ado, I'm going to put myself on mute and I'm going to throw it over to Miss Kim, and she's going to take over the demo.
Thank you, Kiana. We're going to just start. We're going to kind of go into like what my version of a Brazilian wax is. A lot of the times I understand as estheticians, we were all taught very differently. And if there's something that you see here and you have more questions, like I said, just go ahead and throw that into the comment section. But we're going to get started. Can you guys see Lori good? Everything looks good here? Perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and have her go into butterfly pose. And I know some people call it a little bit different, but I just go ahead and say go butterflies. So let's go butterfly, Lori. And so when you're a waxer, I feel like you always want to ask your clients some questions before you begin. And I've been waxing Lori for a while, although it's been a minute since I've seen her. But we're going to definitely explain what I'm doing, and I'm going to just kind of treat her like if she was a brand new client, like if she didn't know what's happening. That way I can kind of make her feel comfortable as well with what I'm doing, okay? So we're going to begin with the Intimate Refreshing Wipes. These are really great to have in your back bar or just out and about into your suite so that your clients could freshen up before they begin. But this also is like dual, so you can use it as a wipe, and then you can also use it to prep your client's skin. And these are the Intimate Refreshing Wipes. They come in retail size as well as back bar. And these are pH balanced, and they help to hydrate the skin as well. So we're going to just go ahead and prep. And you might want to warn your client it's a little cold. So especially if somebody is a little sensitive, just remind them and let them know it might feel a little cold, okay? So you just want to go ahead and open up the labias and get all in there. And then you're going to go ahead and start the next step. You can keep this if you'd like, or you can throw it out. I'm just going to throw it out. And then the next step is to prep the skin with the client with oil. So we're going to go with the Nude Oil by Bushbalm. So we're applying 2 drips of that, and we're going to go ahead and just put that on. And the reason why we're using oil is because we want to hydrate the skin, protect the barrier of the skin, as well as just, you know, bring those flat hairs up. Sometimes clients don't properly exfoliate. So this will kind of help to just prep that skin as well. The next step that you might have learned in school or somewhere, you know, waxing, is to apply cornstarch powder, but we're going to skip cornstarch today, okay? I personally feel like it's not needed all the time, and the client's skin's already being hydrated with the oil, and I feel like when you put cornstarch, it just dries it back up. So I'm just going to wipe the residue, and then that's it. We're going to start, okay, guys? But if you have any questions regarding that, let me know. But I went ahead with the Nude Oil. And that has natural based ingredients. So it's going to be like jojoba seed oil, grapeseed oil, tea tree oil. And if you go with like Bermuda, for example, that will have some lemon essential oil peel, which is what helps to brighten the client's skin over time. And here we are. We're going to go ahead and just watch our wax. I know a lot of people have questions, and we've received a ton of questions about temperature of the wax. I truly do believe that if you're an esthetician or a cosmetologist who waxes, you kind of have an idea of how the wax should behave on your stick. For example, you want it to be like a cake batter consistency. So if it's dripping off of your stick, then it's way too hot. And I think that's kind of, in my opinion, a little obvious. So watch the wax. If it's 5 seconds and it's dripping too fast, it's probably a little warm. But Bushbeads is one of my favorite waxes that I've worked with for the reason that it's just very easy to, you know, work with it and to kind of like learn it. And every time you work with a new wax, you really do have to learn the wax. Okay, so you guys could see it didn't roll. A lot of people ask like, okay, if cornstarch powder isn't used, is the wax going to roll over? Sometimes it does, but for the most part, it doesn't. Okay, and look at how quickly that dried. And we're going to have Laura take a deep breath in, breathe out. And we're going to apply some pressure to help with the pain. And you can see how quickly it dried, but it still has a lot of flexibility to it, which is one of the reasons why I love Bushbeads, is because you don't have to wait for it to fully, completely dry before you pull it off. So let's go ahead and see this one. You could still hear it. It's a little tacky still. And we're going to go ahead and pull it. Breathe. Good job. Apply that pressure. You could see we had a little bit of hair there, but still enough. And you could see again, still pliable, still very warm, but it still was able to pull off very quickly. And there's different techniques that we were kind of discussing, and I love this conversation that we have during the webinars, is the technique. As the SD, as a professional, you are welcome to start wherever you feel comfortable. I always begin on the 4 fingers outside of the bikini line to give the client a bit of a break. I don't want to scare her, because right now we're going to go right into the mons pubis. And this is, again, like a very, I feel like this technique is a little bit advanced. So be very careful when you're applying the wax down the middle for the first strip. And the reason why is because the wax could get stuck. And if you don't pull it fast enough, it will be very painful for the client. So what we're going to do, and what I've been teasing online, is the daisy chain technique. So we're going to daisy chain the wax onto that wax strip. So I already created the lift on the top of my wax, on my glove, and it's all ready to go. So shiny side to the shiny side. We're going to melt it on the top. Just kind of put mild pressure, nothing too painful, right? Doesn't feel harsh or anything. Good. So you can hear it. It's still pretty wet, the wax. So we're going to kind of give it a second. And for this type of strip, especially for daisy chaining, you want to make sure the wax is completely dry. Okay? Because if you pull it before it's dry, you're just going to hurt the client. Okay? And for this one, we're going to have her take a deep, deep, deep breath. And you're going to have to pull this strip off on the first try, okay? And again, I'm not perfect, but I feel like I'm very confident in these type of techniques and these strips, okay? So I want you to take a deep breath in. You're going to hold her skin down, breathe out. Good job. And there, my friends, is a daisy chain. And these are really good. That's a really great technique for somebody who has like the skin on her labia is a little folded or a little bit longer. Every labia is going to look very different. So you want to make sure that if at any point you lay a strip you're not comfortable pulling, you always have your daisy chain to come back to, okay? Has anybody ever tried the daisy chain technique yet? Or is this a brand new technique you just learned today? I would love to know. And the reason I love to start down the middle is because now you can break your Brazilian wax into halves. So now you lay one, pull one. So while this is drying, we're going to go ahead and apply a strip from here to here. And that way we can kind of work a little faster. And this technique was definitely taught to me at European Wax Center. Show of hands who's worked at European Wax Center. I love to know where we're looking for our techniques. Yeah. Okay, Lori, I'm sorry. That's okay. Also, I don't really trim the clients. So even if they're a little lengthy in the center, I rarely trim. So sometimes the client will feel the wax kind of dragging with the hair. And I'm so sorry for that. But I promise it's like a quick little uncomfortable moment. And then we kind of just laugh it off. And that way the wax will adhere quicker to the hair and it will be removed faster as well, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, just learned, game changer. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that you guys feel like this new technique will help you guys. If you do decide to use it, you guys are welcome to DM me later and let me know how it worked for you, okay? Okay, take a deep breath in, breathe out. Perfect. And as an esthetician, I'm always looking at her follicles. I'm always making sure that I'm grabbing straight from the root. And the reason being is because you don't want to break the hair. You want to make sure you're grabbing directly from the root, okay? And I know sometimes I'm sure you guys do the same thing. I tell my clients, do you want to see? Because it's just exciting to show them that, you know, that all the hair is lifting beautifully. Okay, a deep breath in, breathe out. Good. And those strips, like, do not hesitate your labia strips ever, okay? Because that can be very painful for the client. And so while I'm working, you'll notice that I check my wax. I will continuously tell people this, that it's really difficult to just pick a one specific temperature. It's not a one size fits all. Every wax pot is different. Every wax is different. So you just kind of have to keep stirring your wax, bring down the temperature. What matters too is like the temperature in your room where you're working. The client, if they're warmer, I have a fan in my room. So in case it gets a little warm in here, I'll throw my fan on. So it's always about keeping your client comfortable and keeping them at a good, like, you know, at a good rate as well while you're working. Okay. So now we're going to lay the next labia strip. And remember, guys, when we're doing cleanup strips, the wax might also feel a little warmer on the skin. Do you guys know why? Does anybody know why it might feel warmer? I'm just making sure it looks good. I'll give it a second, see if anyone wants to answer. Why would the client feel the wax warmer on their body after you've already done a strip? So it's a cleanup strip. Well, the reason
comment here is someone saying because there's less hair.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you guys got it. Which is literally why before I go back in with my cleanup strip, I'll tell my client this might feel a little warmer. The temperature hasn't changed, or I just kind of make sure to twiddle the stick a little longer to make sure. A deep breath in. Good job. And honestly, I'm proud of Lori right now because as you guys can see, most of her hair is lifting beautifully. So that tells me that she's more than likely doing her skincare routine. So this is a good time to plug in also. If you notice your client's hair is not lifting as quickly as it should, this is a really great time for you to come back to their routine. What are they doing at home? Are they properly exfoliating at home? Are they using the proper products? And this is a great time for you to set the intention and let them know that you have retail available. Let them know that you have everything they need to have the best results possible. And the reason I'm waiting for this strip to dry a little longer is I also want you to see that it doesn't break once it gets completely dry. So sometimes if, like, for example, you're a slower waxer, you're just not 100% ready to work as fast as other people, you'll notice that if you leave it on the skin a little longer, it won't break, okay? Let's take a deep breath. Good job. And there we go. You guys can see it's a little bit more dry at this point. It's not cracking either way, okay? So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of that oil that I have left on my cotton round. And this is just going to, again, refresh her skin, introduce the oil into her skin, and hydrate, protect her barrier. And again, we're just going to quickly dry it off. And we're going to clean it up now, okay? So this is a time that, again, you can, you know, let your client know that you have time for a vajacial. Have they ever heard of a vajacial? I was recently yesterday hanging out with family, and my family always brings up what I do for a living. And sometimes I don't want to talk about it at family events, but this girl was like, "What is a vajacial?" And I was like, "Sit down, I have to talk to you." And so I started explaining to her it's a vagina facial, and it's a really great experience because as women, we all have ingrowns, bumps, breakouts, and things of that matter and of that nature. So it's always like super exciting to like introduce a treatment like that to your clients, to your friends, to your family, because sometimes people don't know they need it until they have it done, and then they fall in love with the results. Okay. And the reason being is because you're kind of focusing on that intimate area. You're getting those, you know, ingrowns out for them, which, as you know, hands up, tell me if you guys enjoy extractions and removing ingrown hair. Everybody better raise their hands. And the clients don't love it all the time, but they do feel appreciative at the end when they see their skin looks really clean and very ingrown free. Okay. And so we're going to stagger those strips. Do you guys know about the stagger technique? The staggering technique? So basically what it is when you are pulling the strip, instead of pulling it fast like the first strip, you are doing cleanup strips, and you're welcome to stagger that wax. And I'll do that right now. I'll show you guys. And it's basically for the hair that's a little more stubborn or flat hairs. It'll help to lift them up a little faster. Plus, your client doesn't need you to pull those strips as fast like the first time around because there's not as much hair left. So you don't need to pull it really quickly, okay? And you guys can see I laid this strip very thin, and the reason being is because it's just a cleanup strip. Usually when I do the first initial strips, I will put a little bit more of a thicker layer of wax. Opposed to a cleanup strip, I go ahead and do a thinner layer. As the wax queen says, stagga dagga. I love the waxing queen. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stagger it. Ready? And there you go. Did that hurt at all, Lori? No. And you can see just how much hair that pulled. It is amazing. And this is why I love bush beads, because it really does pick up those stubborn, tiny little hairs. And it does make your job a lot faster, and it makes it a lot more fun as well. I do see that she's got some flat hairs here, so we're gonna now go backwards. This is definitely a strip that I would only recommend to do if you are doing a cleanup strip, not an initial strip, because we want to follow the direction of the hair growth for the first strips, right, guys? We all learned that. So now we're going to do what I call like a little rainbow, and we're going to wait, okay? You guys can hear that it's like dries really quickly, okay? Ooh, it's not there. So that's another, that was like a great mistake that just happened. So you guys could see how I basically daisy chained it over this way because it wasn't dry yet. And there you go. So there's different ways to daisy chain as well. So that happens, especially like when the wax is like the layer is way too thin and it just didn't work out. You can daisy chain it back. Okay. So now we're going to go back into her labias as a cleanup. So we're going to open, and remind her it might feel a little warmer. Yes. It was a little warmer, but it's because we're going right over the clitoral hood, guys. So anytime you're going over the clitoral hood, it's going to feel a lot warmer inside of the labia. And everybody's clitoral hood is very different. So there are ways to get into the clitoral hood also if someone is, for example, plus size. So usually what I do is I'll have them go knees to chest. So while I'm working on the butt strip, I'll go back into the hood of the clitoris. Okay, guys? So there's just like different ways to work with different body types as well. Okay. Very good. We kind of mildly staggered. Beautiful. And also you can see that she doesn't have a ton of dead skin cells on her strip. So again, like you're doing a good job. Whatever you're doing, what are you doing right now? You want to tell us?
I exfoliate 3 times a week.
Okay.
Right? 3 days out of the week.
Yes.
And I do the first aid like pads.
Okay, so like exfoliating toner pads.
Yeah, the toner pads.
Love that. And so sometimes like clients, like if they're doing something at home and it's working for them, like we give them props for that. Okay. And she's doing a good job because obviously I could see on her wax strips that there's not a ton of dead skin cells. Okay. So it doesn't look perfect. I feel like she still has some hair, very tiny, very little hairs. So sometimes they can be a little stubborn. So we're going to just try to go over that one time right now. And here we're going to daisy chain. There we go. So the daisy chain saves me, guys. Like, I'm not a perfect waxer, but I promise you, like, I will find a way to make it less painful for my client while I'm doing it. And you have to work quick sometimes. I know when you're new, you probably just stand there and you're like, what do I do? Just keep going. Just keep going, guys. So we're going to go over the whole mons pubis. And we're going to do a nice big strip here. And we're going to stagger it, okay? Any questions so far about bush beads? Or
Kim,
bush
there
balm?
is a question from Joanna. Is it fine to stagger the initial strip?
I wouldn't. The first strip, always one pull. And when you're coming back in for the cleanup, that's when we'll welcome the stagger. So you don't want to do it on the first one, just because the client's, hair might be a little bit thicker, depending if they haven't been coming in, or it's like by case by scenario. Sometimes I do have clients who have very thin hair and I find myself staggering on the first and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I would just say be careful. Be careful when you're doing stagger. Stagger would only be good for, again, cleanup strips. So you could see beautiful bush beads is picking up those tiny little hairs. And we're going to do one more. So controversial opinion. I know a lot of people, when we do these webinars, one of the things I always get asked is, how many times have you gone over the skin already? Like, we're taught not to go over it as much. Yes and no, because the Bushbeads Hard Wax is, like I said, very great for sensitive skin. And honestly, the first thing I tell people is look at the client's skin. Is she red? Does she seem irritated? Does she seem uncomfortable? No. So it's okay. As long as you're watching the client's skin, you've waxed this person before, you know how to wax them already, and you know you can go over it more than 2 to 3 times. Just keep watching the skin. Okay, guys? Okay. So this is pretty much ready. And we staggered. And again, still picked up hair, guys. And her hairs are a little flat right now, okay? So definitely great, 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 great wax, okay? And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the butt strip. How do you guys have your clients go for butt strip? I'm just curious if you guys want to tell me. Anybody? How do you have your clients go on butt strip? You can put your legs straight.
We have knees to chest or get them on their side.
Okay, that's perfect. So just a couple of tricks that I do is if they have like the bunny tail, exactly, I do side for bunny tail, same Samantha. Knees to chest, always, if clients are flexible enough, that's fine. If they're pregnant, I have them go to their left side or I have them go on 4s. It just depends on the person and their comfort. So for today, are you comfortable going knees to chest?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. So let me just move my camera over a little bit and let's get that angle good. And when you're ready, go for it, knees to chest. And I'm so sorry, I just realized that we didn't do the stencil. Sorry, Kiana.
That's okay.
I completely forgot and then I remembered it right now.
That's okay. We can do it next demo. If anybody is new here, we do these demos once a month. And we have different clients come in. So Kim, we do have some comments of people saying they would love to see how you navigate an appointment with a plus size client. I feel like that's definitely something we can do in the future.
Yeah. Yes, I will try to look for somebody. We have like been in like discussion of how to work with like plus size women, even just like pregnant women. I feel like those are some of the more, in my opinion, like you get a little nervous because you are like dealing with a different body type, which does call for different techniques. For the most part, everything is pretty standard, but you just have to learn how to basically like communicate with the client, let them know I'm gonna need you to hold, taut here. I don't feel like I can grab all the hair in the clitoral hood, so I'm gonna have you go knees to chest. And this is where I would, again, like how Lori is right now, is where I would grab that clitoral hood hair, since she's already kind of open and up. So it's kind of easier to get into this area, if that makes sense, guys. So I'm hoping that I can look for someone maybe for the next round. I will literally put it out into my Instagram. That way we can kind of target more of like a specific client type. Okay, guys? So this is where I kind of like will push my table a little lower because I have a comforter. And I try to get down into the bunny tail. Okay. So we're just going to drag it kind of low. And this is pretty much what I call the butterfly. You don't want to do a butterfly on a client if it's the first timer, if they have a lot of hair, or on the first round. It's kind of like my cleanup strip. So I'm going to daisy chain this side to this side, and we're going to pull at once. Have you guys ever done this technique before? Or do you usually do one at a time, or do you layer these? So we're going to pull, butterfly. We're going to go ahead and daisy chain. And we're going to go ahead and pull it off. And that's it. Go ahead and back to butterflies.
Kim, we do have a question here. Can you please demo how you would get into the clitoral hood when your client is in knees to chest?
Yeah. Are you comfortable with that, Lori?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and have you go knees to chest, but I want you to open up more like this, like that. So just remove the hands like that.
Sorry.
It's okay. Like this. Okay, guys? So we would do it like this. So while your butt strips are loading, you would come here. And you're not going to overlap. And it's just to say, like, it's a deeper clitoral hood, then you want to open up with your fingers. If it's just like on the surface, on the top, then you do it this way. But if somebody is like a deep clitoral hood, you're going to have to open with your fingers, and you got to get the wax in there. It might get all over your gloves too, but sometimes it does get a little messy, okay? So you have them hold there, and while they're waiting, and then you just pull it off like that. You can see she still has a little bit of hair in there, so good thing we kind of went in back in there, okay? Go back to butterfly. All right, guys. So that was a full Brazilian wax with the Bushbeads Hard Wax. We're going to get into the vajacial real quickly. At this point, you can grab another wipe or use the wipe you had before, but we're going to use a new wipe. And we're just going to wipe off any residue at this point. You can see she still has some hair. That's fine. You can tweezers at the end. There's nothing wrong with a few hairs being tweezed at the end. I also always ask my client if they don't mind me tweezing them, just because you don't know if they're comfortable being tweezed. Okay. And then the next step, we're going to do some high frequency. So we're going to turn up the high frequency, make sure that you are asking if they have any contraindications, pregnancy, nursing, anything like that. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and apply this. And we're going to just graze it over her skin. Just a few seconds. Do you feel anything? No, not painful, right?
No.
Perfect. Okay. And now you're welcome to bring your legs forward. And this is the fun part. We're going to go ahead and apply Bushbalm hydrogel mask, okay? This is a good angle. I can't see mine. I don't know why.
Yes, that looks good.
Okay, so here we have the vajacial mask. This mask contains hyaluronic acid, and aloe vera, and green tea extract. And you can see results in little as 10 minutes, guys. I've, used other masks in the past. I've been doing for a very long time. And this is by far my favorite one. And I'm not being biased. I really do feel like this is my favorite because cleanup time, ingredients, and just being super confident in the products that I'm putting on my client's skin always makes me feel really good. Yes, I'm sorry, Lori. It's going to be a little cold. I always forget to tell clients it's going to feel cold, but it does feel really nice because it's going to help to hydrate the skin. It's going to help to bring down any redness. And it's just honestly a really nice treatment for the client at the end of a Brazilian. And then I always have like the excess product inside of the baggie and just kind of apply it around the body. You can also use the side strips of the vajacial mask. The side strips would be good for an underarm wax. And it's also really great for like a brow. So you can apply it on the brow. But definitely There's different ways to use this product in your room, okay? And at this point, we would just leave it on for about 10 minutes. And we, at this point, let the client hang out. And this is a good opportunity to mention your other services that you offer. You could do a scalp massage. As a matter of fact, the other day I did a scalp massage with the new lavender lemon oil. And so it smelled really good in here. And I just applied like maybe 2 or 3 drops of the oil on my hands. And I went back to my client's head and I did like a scalp massage. And she was like so happy and she felt so relaxed at the end.
Wait, Kim, that's my dream.
Right?
While we kind of let the vajacial sit, we are going to address some questions. Brittany, Larry, you had your hand up earlier. You can come off mute and ask him your question if you'd like.
Yes, please do.
Well, I had a question. I didn't know if it was just me, but I could only see, like, I couldn't see like none of the stuff that you was doing. I could only see like the half of you from your head to your chest.
Are you taking the call from your phone or a laptop?
My phone.
Okay. If you go down to like the other people that are in this call, you'll see that Kim has 2 screens going, and you can just pin the other screen that's not the one that's showing her face, and that should show you the model.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Mhm.
We have another question from Pink Glove Bar. How does high frequency help, or what is the purpose behind it?
The high frequency is going to be to help kill the bacteria, and basically just brings down inflammation and restores blood flow back to the follicle. So you don't have to do it. It's just something that I find helps to bring down any of that redness. But you could do it before, you could do it after, but I always do it before I apply the mask.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to go through the comments here to make sure that I didn't miss anything. If you have any question for Kim, please drop it in the comments below, and we will make sure to address it here. But I don't think I am seeing any other question in here. I feel like normally we have so many questions about vajacial.
I know. It's okay, though. I'm glad that I've maybe answered a lot of the questions they had, and hopefully this is something that will, be good for their services. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But we're going to finish off right now. We're going to basically do some light tweezing, and I'm going to apply the cold globe at the end as well. And you could start doing the cold globe now if you'd like. That's going to just cool off the skin again once more. And I leave those inside of a mini fridge. And basically this is how it looks. Okay. And I can just go ahead and start doing that now if you'd like. I'm going to move my computer back over this way. And then basically you just graze it over the skin like this and kind of bring it to a cool off. And basically what's great for this is it's just going to help to, again, bring down any inflammation and lock in those ingredients into the skin as well. And it feels really nice. And at the end, I'll apply some oil as well, which will probably apply like the lavender oil today. And you're not allergic to lavender, right? Okay. And then we'll go ahead and finish off that vajacial. And again, this part could take up to 10 minutes in your room. And you can charge anywhere from $20 to $30. I charge $35 for a mini vajacial and $70 for a Brazilian. Yeah. Is anybody already doing a Brazilian wax and mini vajacial version, or is this something that you guys are interested in bringing on? Yes, Samantha. Perfect.
Oh, sorry. I was just raising my hand because I was saying that I already do. I offer it.
Yeah. And how
My
much are you
bad.
guys charging? Out of curiosity, like where are you guys located and how much are you charging for a Brazilian and mini vajacial?
Should I say it on here or should
Yeah,
I
go
comment?
for it.
I just add on for a 20-minute add-on or $20 add-on. And I just do like extractions. I don't do high frequency or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice.
Kim, we have a question here. If this is considered a mini vajacial, what does a full vajacial entail?
A full vajacial is basically a whole facial for the vulva. So it's basically going to be like a cleanse, exfoliation, a mask, high frequency extractions, the hydrogel mask. There's just a bunch of different products that you can use more. It's basically like a facial, and you don't want to do it the same day as a wax. That you definitely want to stick to only doing like 2 weeks post Brazilian wax. You don't want to do it all at one point because it's just too much exfoliation, too many masks for the skin. So you have to do the deluxe version, what I call it, like about a week or 2 after a Brazilian wax. And then you can go ahead and do like a chemical peel. You can use like the Radiant Reset toner pads. You can use the exfoliating sugar scrub. There's just like a bunch of products that you can incorporate while you're doing the deluxe version. Okay, how much would you charge for just the mask add-on? So I charge $70 for the mask add. Oh, sorry, $70 for a Brazilian wax, and then I charge $35 to add on the hydrogel mask. Okay, we're just gonna peel it off, and you could throw this away so it's really fast to clean up. And at this point, I don't remove anything from the product, and the reason being is because we want the ingredients to stay. Do you want to smell this, Lori? Tell us what you think about it. Give us your honest opinion. It smells good.
It's not too potent. You know
It's-
how
yeah.
lavender could be
Lavender could be very strong, but I feel like it's very,
subtle.
yes.
It's not, yeah. Smells good.
And so at this point, you can go ahead and grab your tweezers. You grab my tweezers.
And I'm just going to expand on kind of what Kim just explained about the vajacial. So obviously when Kim performs a mini vajacial, she includes extractions as well as the high frequency and the cold globe. I find Kim is just extra like that, and she really likes to provide her
Yes.
clients with like the most top tier mini vajacial experience. But you don't have to do all of that, especially if you're just beginning and you're like, okay, I'm providing Brazilians right now, but I kind of want to just do the mask. That is also totally okay. Our suggestion to you for cost is just make sure you are doubling whatever it is that you pay for the product. So I think for Americans, the triangle mask comes to $5 wholesale cost. So I would charge minimum $10, but plus you want to add on the cost of time that is being taken up by the service. So if you have your client on your service bed for an additional 10 minutes, then you also want to factor that into your cost. So at a minimum, if you are just providing the mask as an add-on and nothing else, I would say minimum charge $15 to $20. Kim, would you say that's fair?
Yes, thank you so much for providing that info. That's exactly, yes. Okay, guys, you guys see this? It looks beautiful. I went ahead and like removed the nice ingrown hair. Anytime I'm removing ingrowns, I will ask, are you okay with me removing these? Just because I do have clients who don't want me to. They genuinely feel like that's enough, and it's okay. But me, because I am a perfectionist, and I'm sure a lot of you are, we like to make sure we grab every single hair, and we want them to be satisfied, happy. That way they can keep coming back and booking those Brazilians and vajacials with you. Okay, and as soon as you build that trust and they see their skin, they are going to trust you with their skin. And anytime you offer a certain service, if it's brand new or something like that, they want to try it out because they trust you. Okay, and see, her skin looks so good.
It looks beautiful. Somebody just asked Audrey, she didn't hear, are you using steam in a deluxe vajacial?
In a deluxe, yes. In a regular one, you don't have to. The reason I don't use it is because it's too controversial sometimes. And I'm like, I do use it for 10 minutes on my client. And again, I use a steam that has purified water, and it has a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so sorry. It has the ozone layer, which helps to sterilize the steam. So it's actually blowing very clean steam. It's not like they're going into a hot steam bath, into a sauna, into a pool. And remind them 24 hours post wax, they're not allowed to do exercises, intimacy, anything like that, because their skin is very sensitive. So I know that people sometimes say, why do you use steam if you tell your clients to stay away from steam? Well, it's sterile steam with distilled water. I think it's distilled. Yes, distilled water. So I always feel comfortable and confident doing it on my clients, and I never have had any issues. But if you don't want to do steam, you don't have to do steam. You don't have to do high frequency. You don't have to do the cold glove. Just by applying the mask on its own, that will be enough for the client's skin. Okay.
Love that. I just dropped into the chat instructions on how to enter our giveaway to win 3 bags of wax. So we have a Instagram reel posted on the Bushbalm Pro Instagram account. It is about today's demo. If you click on that, please just drop in the comments what your favorite thing about today's demo was, or if you learned anything new. I feel like Kim talked about a couple things today, whether that's about the daisy chain or how to successfully wax plus size clients, just some new tips and tricks that she dropped. Please, please, please enter the giveaway. We want more Esties to use Bush beads in their service room. So if we can pick you as a lucky winner, we would be so happy. The giveaway does close in 2 hours. So that is going to be either 1 p.m. PST or 4 p.m. EST. So be sure to head over to the link to enter that giveaway, and we will be contacting the winner today.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. Kiana, I hope everybody enjoyed this class. If you guys have any questions or comments, you're always welcome to reach out to me as well on Instagram. I'm always very grateful after the, webinars. I do receive messages and DMs, and I always just feel these classes help each other. And then, I'll put my Instagram onto as well, onto the chat. So if anyone wants to follow me or has any questions, you guys are welcome to follow, and I'll follow back as well. I try to follow back every single person when I get a follow as well after these webinars, okay?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to Kim, our in-house esthetician, and our beautiful model who's so graciously modeled for us today. We know it's definitely a vulnerable service, and so we really, really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Awesome. So we will be posting this webinar on YouTube. It should be posted by the end of the day. Again, the benefit to being in the webinar is that you got to see the model and see the whole demonstration, but the version on YouTube will be Kim doing all the explanation, and you're just going to have to do your best to visualize it. But you can always go back to the YouTube video to go through anything that Kim had explained.
Yeah.
So until next time, we do these every month. Our next one, Kim, I think is June 26th.
Yes.
I think it's June 26th, or I might be getting that wrong.
We'll post it.
Our next one is June 30th. June 30th,
Perfect.
Same time. So if you wanted to join us again, I'm sure you'll be learning something new.
Perfect. Thank you, guys, and I will hope to see you all there again next time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and be sure to enter the giveaway. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.